Welcome to Sheep School. So today we're scanning ewes with the big batch in for scanning. So this is my scanner's crate. That's his little scanner there. So he works, that's his seat. He keeps it simple. It's pretty mobile. Single crate. You're working a simple crate here.
Yeah.
Were you ever tempted to get a trailer on the go, or?
I have used a trailer in the past.
Yeah.
There's pros and cons. Some places don't really suit a trailer.
Yeah.
And on wet weather,
wet ground, yeah.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
But I find it's easier to load a crate on a speed so I haven't changed.
Good man. Yeah. I suppose a lot of the sheep you'll be scanning this time of year is outdoors.
The majority of the sheep I scan are outdoors.
And then to get a trailer backed into certain spots is the problem.
Yeah.
So Padraig is all set up. We're up and running, rattling through them nicely. You'll see here, this is the screen Padraig's working off, and he is some man that can make sense of what he's looking at there.
Just scanning them on the EID reader here, and then I can put in my number of lambs when Padraig gives me the go ahead. He's looking into the matrix here.
2.
What would be the biggest problem you'd face, Padraig, with this job?
Yours not fasting enough.
Aye, not emptied out.
2.
And what about your days? Do you find much problem with maybe early or late, or?
Not too bad. We like to work at 85 days.
Yeah. Up to a maximum of what? 22 or 3?
We could work at 95 days, but you give them that habit then to be all working
Yes,
at 85
okay.
days. So. Fasting, you get the old fasting.
Yeah.
It makes it that easier. Single. When we work at 85 days, we are covering 3 repeats. You're covering the first repeat should be around 70 days, and the next repeat should be around 55 days. So you have 3 cycles covered.
Aye, so you're just at a nice time then. Yeah. And 35, is that
it's
the earliest you can tell if they're
yes, pregnant, but you only count them at 45.
Yes, from 45 days you can give an accurate reading.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
2 again, Robbie.
That's the one we're waiting for. 2. Okay. Good man. So we're a batch of 180 done here now. So I've everything on my reader. I just don't know exactly the number of lambs yet on my percentage. The reader won't actually give me out that details. But Padraig could have a fair idea. What would you reckon there, Padraig?
1.8, we're running 1.8 here. But there's a lot of young sheep in this.
Yeah, a lot of hoggets, yeah. Not too many empties, I don't think, because so 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4, yeah. So we're running about 2%, I'd say, roughly. We'll know more later. I'll give you a bit of a breakdown later. But, yeah, time to get these back in the pen. We have another batch of about 120 or so. We're just going to move to another bit of ground. We've them in since early morning. I reckon, not too bad for empties. I reckon we're sitting about 2 or 3% in empties, which isn't bad. So we are, empties is probably the biggest killer. I would guess we've scanned about 1.8, 1.9, but as I say, we'll know more a bit later when I get the figures into the computer. We'll know a bit more then.
The gel is pumped out here with my left hand. My left hand I'm doing nearly as much work as my right hand, so it pumps on the gel with my left hand.
Yeah.
I make contact.
Yeah.
It's a bit like playing golf. It's only a small movement with your wrist left or right, and up and down, and you flip your image.
How many years did it take you to get good at sheep scanning, would you say?
Could say 30.
Yeah.
Ah, no, could take 3 seasons.
Yeah, I know it's notoriously difficult.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It
Any of the young lads
definitely take a 3rd season. The first year you just play away. 2nd year you should be heading for 90%, and after that,
the biggest problem, I suppose, is when you do your scanning and you don't hear about how bad a job you done until the following spring.
Right. That's right.
You know, when you.
Right. But then it's no different than a bad football match. You're only as good as your last match.
Yes, of course.
So any young that's starting off really has to start off very slowly.
Yeah.
Small flocks.
Probably start with somebody if you could. Maybe,
yes, but the problem there is because when the season gets busy, it gets so fast and so busy that you can't afford to bring him on with you.
Yeah.
You need to be either starting the first couple of weeks in October with him and maybe finish in the end of February with your lambs.
Yeah.
But in the middle, we really don't have much time.
Yeah. Right.
But
it's a busy little job there. Like you can see, we rattled through them. I hadn't much time for filming now, I only got the tail end of it, but roughly what would you say, how many an hour would you get through on a good batch of sheep, big batch of sheep?
100, 120 sheep an hour.
120.
You have to be getting through that.
Yeah, okay.
Because in my job, the flocks aren't big again, and you're doing a lot of road work, so you're losing maybe an hour in between, or 3/4 of an hour in between flocks driving. So it's and the day is so short nowadays. So you always have to pick your where you start, where you need a shed, and when you finish, you need a shed.
And we'll say in this area, you're covering the surrounding counties. We'll say, what's your average flock size? We'll say
100 in this area. Whereas I go up to Westmead and I'm probably scanning 250, 300 on average.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is predominantly cattle country, you see. Until you go to West Cavan, where then you could be handling adding from 3 to 4 to 500.
Yeah.
But usually in 2 or 3 stops though, not necessarily in one stop again.
Yeah, the farmers will have them broken up.
Yes.
Well, that's why we scanned these here today, because they were going to another bit of ground, and they would have been in batches of 50.
And most farmers tend to work that way with the winter.
Yeah, because of the wet
it's great to get a bundle of sheep together and get them done and get them moved on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to move now to another batch of sheep. We have them in a pen, so we're just going to move the scanning crate over and rattle through them now. We're just over on this other piece of ground here. The farmer who owns the ground phoned me to say, you know, you don't have all them sheep in. And I didn't know, because myself and Robbie, it's coming behind me. So myself and Robbie were over here. It was just daybreak. I think it was a little bit too dark, but I think we got in about 3/4 of them, so we're just going over here to find the rest of them. So you can see here with this fog, it's pretty hard to find sheep in this, but look, we'll get them somewhere. So the scan on the first batch went surprisingly well. It went surprisingly well. Now, it's the one time a year you'd be very nervous. Now, last year I had one of my worst scans, and it was down to an older ram that wasn't working. So you'll see my sheep have quite a lot of colours on them, rattles. So it's the only way I can keep an eye on what's repeating and what's not. But it's important, it's very important, because I'm single sire mating. So that means each batch of sheep that I have only has one ram. Now you have a major advantage if you can put out a big batch of sheep with 2, 3, 4 multiple rams, because if one's not working, it really doesn't matter that much. The other rams make up the slack. So that first batch of sheep went very well. You'd always be a little bit nervous until the last sheep goes through the crate, because you never know what's going to happen. I often seen the scanning starting very well, and then the last tail end of it running into destroying your averages. You'll see here we found the sheep. I reckon we only got in half of them in the dark. Padraig's not going to be happy, because these sheep won't have emptied out, but sure, what can you do? What can you do? Good job Robbie has the high vis on today now. It's making it a little bit more visible. Bye. Come by, come by, come by. Wait. Lie down. No. Got a sweat worked up now running after them sheep. Hat off, it's sitting about 2 degrees, but anyway. So the farmer was kind enough to allow me to put the sheep in here at the camp of silage. So it means that we had a bit of a surround around them, and we only need a few gates to get set up. So we're set up again. Padraig's ready to go here. We have a bit of a race system here. We're going to try and make things a bit handier for Robbie here. We have a bit of a back and pen. There's the proper handling system over here, so we're ready to make a start.
Do again.
So as we rattle through the sheep here, it's a good chance to maybe give you an idea why I pregnancy scan my sheep. And I suppose the most important one I find is nutrition. to get that nutrition right in the last 6 weeks of pregnancy is hugely important. If you don't get that right, you're setting yourself up for failure for the rest of the year. For example, if you are blanket feed your ewes, your singles, your doubles, your triples, you blanket feed them all the same diet, what generally happens is your singles are too big, you have problems with lambing, your twins will probably be okay, your triplets then are too small, little small runty lambs and ewes with not enough milk. So it's very difficult. It leaves lambing time much more difficult if you get that late pregnancy nutrition wrong. So it is hugely important for that. And then number 2, it's very useful when you're actually in the throes of lambing to know what a sheep is having, so you can line up a foster. And so we'd say if you have a single lamb and a triplet, you can line them up to get one of the triplets moved on to the single. So it's very useful for that reason as well. So, scanning done, Padraig.
Scanning done.
Second batch, how do you think it went?
A very good scan.
Good.
More mature ewes here, more lambs here.
Well, no more when I get the figures into the computer. I'll run through them then. But yeah, happy for
Very
now.
good.
Yeah,
Very
better than
and
last
great
year.
condition.
Yeah, they're in good nick. Good nick, so they can afford to lose a little bit of condition.
Can do, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You only housed them for the last couple of weeks then?
I did try and house them a month max on. That's kind of what I'm working towards, but we'll... it depends on the weather, like.
Yeah,
There's a big batch of sheep there, like, you know, it's hard to keep them in smaller batches and keep them moved on.
But they are in good nick. They're very good.
Yeah.
And handling well.
Yeah. So what have you now? You have 700 or 800 sheep to do the rest of the day, I'm sure.
Well, I have about 450 and 3 stops, but I'm more driving than work.
Right, okay. You're nearly like one of these tarmac farmers. You're a road king. Good man, thanks Padraig. I'll chat to you again. Good luck.
Thanks.
Good man. Good man, good luck. I'll see you. Thanks. Now, that's scanning done for this year. Well, we still have the 60 ewe lambs to do. We'll get them done probably in about 3 weeks. They were a bit later to come into season, so Pops, come here. So scanning done. I'm going to run my figures into the computer. I have to plug in my EID reader to get all the data off it, and then I can run a report to see, but I'll do that in the office later. Here is my scanning report. You'll see on the bottom line there the percentages of the breakdown of the scan. So pretty happy with a good percentage of twins. We're sitting at 57% or almost 57 and almost 12% in triplets. So a nice ratio there, not too many triplets. You'll see the barn rate is 3.64%, which isn't bad on a scan of, I think we scanned 302 sheep that in that particular scan. The overall scan is 1.76 lambs per sheep, or 176%. Pretty happy with that. So I had a look at it to see why my scanner was slightly lower. So I just highlighted the number of younger sheep, 2-year-old sheep coming into the flock this year. Now some of them would have lambed down as ewe lambs. So you'll see there's a total of 123 of these younger sheep coming into the flock. So slightly high on the barn rate, they're heading for 5%. You'd expect younger sheep to be slightly lower, but possibly we'll have a look at that and see why the barn rate is a little bit higher than you'd like. We scanned an average of 1.59 or 159% in those younger sheep, but I think younger sheep generally scan a little bit lower anyway. But yeah, overall, I suppose, taking into consideration the number of younger sheep coming into the flock, the scan of 1.76 or 176%, I'm happy with that. I'd take that any day of the week. I'm pretty happy with that. So I know scanning rates haven't been as good. I think the drought was probably a bit of an issue as well for a lot of people, and didn't really affect us too much, but it definitely did stunt the grass and probably checked it, and it went to seed much quicker, and possibly lost a bit of quality, which might have affected the scanner rate. But it was definitely very wet at tupping time, which wouldn't have helped either. So yeah, this has been Sheep School. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.
I'll see you for the next one.